What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Arwin, Chocolate Saiyan, Event Horizon, Flat Earth Ginger, Travis, Sleeping Warrior, and Anon. Good to have you all.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
As we didn't have a particularly slick show last time, I'm going to run through the housekeeping. Hopefully it'll be reasonably concise, we shall see. And then we're going to do an all points bulletin about the new moon. So, any signs of curvature?
No.
None.
Nope.
Any signs of axial rotation?
Only curvature is all these flat floors that people are making observations on now. All of a sudden, they're all curved.
R-based architecture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Suddenly we've got a load of builders with wonky spirit levels, it seems. Anyway, any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Nope.
No.
I feel no spin.
Any evidence you can have a gas pressure without a container?
Never.
No, Nathan.
What about a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
Hey guys,
Absolutely not.
Nope.
answer's no. I gotta catch up.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Nope.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
What about the R value itself, that presupposition of an Earth radius? Any signs of that?
Well, apparently, all architectures apply it in their design.
We
No.
need a sphere to have some R. We need a sphere. We don't have a sphere. We don't have curvature. So there's no R. There's no radius.
But the architects apply it. Rumpa said so.
Right.
What?
All spirit levels
What
have that.
architects apply?
Are they serious?
What did he say they apply?
Well, he says that all floors are wobbly, basically, because you have to adapt.
Curvature?
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
wobbly
So it's
floor
all
theory.
R-based architecture.
So I guess every project I worked on, I messed it up. Shit.
No, but the spirit level basically gives you the gravity relative level.
Cool. That's
So,
cool.
but it'll all end up automatically curved.
So now they got
See the logic
bendy
in that?
floors.
It's all R-based architecture.
I want to
Yeah,
go to
so-
my local ice rink. I
You
reckon
can
the
build
ice rink floor is dead flat.
This is how sad it's gotten. Now we have to deal with bendy floors too.
If you
We had
build a,
We had bendy water first. Now we got bendy floors. It's great.
Wobbly.
yeah, go
wobbly.
ahead and build a
That's even
completely
better.
flat, square floor, and the ball will roll to the center.
It's even better. Wobbly
Uh,
floors.
So
Yeah.
does
Not-
that suffice as proof of R, Nathan?
Yeah.
That's a deadly
So can we do our all
science.
points bulletin then about the new moon?
Good call.
for
Anthony, have you banished just at that inopportune moment when we need you to say something?
Ravi.
I think he's tripped over the curb.
Hello, Earth to Anthony.
He went to get a
Okay,
brew
well,
of
I'll do
some
it for him.
chips.
So, basically, from
Let's
today...
just talk about gravity then.
Oh, maybe I won't. So from today, the moon is waning to such a degree, I think it's 11% or slightly less or slightly more, it doesn't really matter, that you can actually see of the moon. Now, over the next 3 or 4 days, it's going to disappear to completely nothing. Now, according to Coolpix P900, which is Sandra, check out her channel, she's caught it at about, I think she said 6 or 7%, maybe it was even less than that, which would be tomorrow in terms of the position. Easiest to catch it at sunrise and sunset, but basically we want people to try and catch the new moon over the 3-day period that it vanishes completely. So if you've got a decent enough camera, today is the day to get an idea, a feel, a gauge, whatever you want to call it, of where the moon is in the sky, so that you can try and get it when it's vanished without a trace, when it should be there. So that's it. So if you're a budding photographer, this is your opportunity to try and catch the moon. Familiarise yourself with where it is today.
Yeah, something like the moon shouldn't be disappearing at all.
Travis, anything to add?
Well, I can't share the photos, so I was just going to let Anthony talk. But I was able to locate the moon. I was able to get the peak of one of the houses near me with enough shade so I can get the contrast. So I got some pretty good shots if Anthony's around, or if you want, I can just put him in the Hangout chat and someone else can pull him up.
Yeah, if someone's willing. Unless Anthony's back now, he's off mute now. So
All right. I'll send him over real quick. Hold on.
or we could just have complete dead air. Either way, is good by me.
Nathan, what do you think about the potential weight fluctuations over the Earth, however they may turn out to be?
I don't know. I mean, my kid's screaming continually, and I'm fighting to find gaps where there's no screams, kind of hoping other people would talk. But sometimes life isn't like that, and you get 5 people saying nothing when your kid's screaming.
Shit.
Owen, what do you mean by weight fluctuations?
The whole concept that in the parent regions, scales will provide less weight with the same object.
Can you give me an example of that, like
It was brought up
location to
yesterday.
location?
It was brought up yesterday.
Arwen, I'm going to send you the photos, okay?
Oh, okay, sure.
I'm going to send them in Skype, so just watch out for them. Hold on.
It's just the silence, no one's speaking.
Right.
I wanted to know what Owen meant by weight fluctuations over the plane. Has he got any evidence of it? Is it in the north or in the south, or where is it?
Well, it's supposed to be that the weight decrease is at the equator.
Yes.
So, for example, if I weighed 10 stone in the UK, I'd go to the equator and I'd weigh, what, 9 stone or
Now
9.5? Or?
10.1%.
So it's a very minuscule amount then, but it is measurable, yeah?
Still consistent, apparently.
Okay,
That
good
is
timing.
something.
So, Arwen's got your pictures up now, Travis. I assume these are yours, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so you can just see the crescent. That's about what it looks like to the naked eye right there, and then I've got some zooms.
Are these pretty much real-time pictures? Yeah, these have just been taken.
The last show when I was off, when I told you I was getting the shots, that's what I was doing.
Ooh. Any way you can increase the size of that moon, Arwin? Can you zoom in other words?
Well, I gave him
Zoom
some.
in? No, this is on Skype.
I can do it. I can do it. Hang on.
No worries.
Oh,
Good to have you
sure.
back, thank God.
Sorry, I was having a quick bath in between shows.
Oh, right.
Men can do that. Women can't, but men can. They can't dress themselves after the bath, but they can have the bath. All right. Open. How did this work before? I did it in the thing, didn't I? Just give me a sec. Slick, I know, but. All right, what I'm going to do.
There we go, Arwin.
Oh, there was another one. Oh, sorry.
That's much better. Just leave it on that a second. Sod all to it. I think the way Anthony described it to me earlier today before the shows was to say that it's not like you're losing less of it in this stage. It's just the magnitude's decreasing, like it's fading out.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's really close up.
Off.
Yeah, so I don't think I need to show it now if I was showing it, right?
Yeah, you're good.
So yeah, what seems to be happening is it's losing its light. It's not as if it's because that crescent can't go missing. That crescent's supposed to still be there because we're not perpendicular behind it. So obviously,
it's losing its luminescence.
Yeah, it's losing its magnitude. It's losing its brightness. It's losing its contrast. Yeah, who cares? But the point is, we all understand that if you turn the brightness down of it or the light that's received to it down, then it's going to fade out, and that seems to be what it's doing. But we shouldn't lose the crescent ever, unless it's directly behind the sun, and it never is. It's rarely like that. So it's like, well, what's the explanation? And the explanation they say is, well, it's because the Earth's atmosphere is bright or oily. No, but you need to show why the crescent's gone missing, because the crescent shouldn't go missing. So yeah, it's a case of right, okay, let's see how many ballers can actually see the moon, and obviously none of them are going to see it, and none of them are going to accept that there's any issue there. But we'll all go, yeah, there is, idiots. It's an issue.
Good pictures, Travis, considering you literally took them in the last 5 minutes.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's hard to get a good contrast when there's not enough light. When you zoom into the moon, it washes out, which is why I had to get the contrast on the house.
So yeah, just to summarise, if you're a budding photographer, immediately, if you're in the States, go out, check out where the moon's position is, try and get a gauge of it, and then over the next few days, see if you can replicate it, see if you can get another picture of it, and ask yourself the question, where the hell's it going?
Yeah, and why can't we see that arc, that crescent? Because we should see it. It's not allowed. That says the moon needs a recharge 3 days per month. Yeah, it can be interpreted two ways. It's either passing behind the sun, and the sun's receiving its light from somewhere else, or it's it's running out of its chocolate. I'm going to mute you, dude, because you're distractive.
Anybody? Yeah, okay.
Yo.
So again, Anthony, without using the degrees and percentages, the only reason why we wouldn't see the moon is if it's in a direct line with the sun. If
Correct.
It's off the ecliptic, if it's off the path of a linear line to the sun from our viewing angle, we should always have an exposed degree on the surface of the moon.
Correct. I mean, it's supposed to be about 5.2% over the minute, and look how much we can see of the moon. I mean, I know it's not getting. I know there's not a lot left, but you can see that 5% gives you enough to be able to see comfortably. You drop that down to 2, 1, 0. Even at 0, you're still going to see the outside of the moon because 50% of the moon receives its light, 50% receives darkness. Right? You are still going to see that edge because the edge is still there. Now, when it's not on the ecliptic, when it is on the ecliptic path, but like 5 degrees away from the sun, that's a problem because that crescent is receiving significantly more angle than what it would be if it was close to it and it was like crossing the sun. So it's like that crescent's got to be there. You can't just explain it away with a bit of maths. So, as Event Horizon spoke, let's see what he thinks of this because I've not heard him speak yet.
Hello, buddy. All right. This moon thing's fantastic. It's going to disappear, and they can't explain it on the heliocentric model, mate. It's something that we've all got to be paying attention to. I was trying to look for the moon earlier on my way back from town, but it was too sunny and too cloudy, so I couldn't get a quick glimpse of it to locate it. But yeah, I'll be looking out for it, mate, for sure. If I can help out, I will.
That's what we need to know. We need to know, can anybody see it? Ideally in America, along the European latitude, or in Australia, because that covers like half the globe. And there's nobody that should not see it on their model. There should be people that see it because of the angles. We're 4 times bigger than the moon. So one side of the Earth, maybe not. The other side definitely should be seeing it. And we all know what's going to happen. Nobody's going to see it. So they have to bring out some maths to explain it. And it's just nonsense. You don't need maths to work out that the sun and the moon, unless they're passing directly in a straight line between the observer and the sun, then yeah, you may not see it all then. But any other part, you should see it. And we don't see it for 3 to 4 days. And I think that's ridiculous. And the ballers literally are just going to go, oh yeah, hand wave dismissal. Maths. No. We should see it, guys.
Yeah, the whole issue is your 3 days, right? So that's the thing that we're going to be aware of right now for the next 3 days. We're going to be looking up into the sky, and I'm going to be documenting everything that I can get. And so again, think about it. If the moon was closer to the horizon by 5 degrees, so it's not very high, we could then explain away because the reason why we can't see it is because its transit or its circuit has taken it beyond the angle of incidence. But it's 50 degrees up in the sky right now. There's no way in the next 3 days it's going to be changing 50 degrees and moving out of our angle of incidence. No way.
Yeah. Well, it's an issue, and the ballers will all ignore it, and they'll just go, yeah, everything else works, so we can turn a blind eye to it. And we're like, well, actually, these are our arguments. It's like, yeah, you can ignore our arguments if you want, but it doesn't change the fact that that moon's gone missing, and it shouldn't do on your model, and you guys ignore it. So we can just laugh at you for it. It's fine. And let's focus on people like, like Sly Sparkane or whatever, challenging Bob. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, Sly's challenge to Bob is interesting, right? But it's not fundamental to the to the narrative that you guys push us. Whether an EQ telescope works the way that they say it works on either model, it's kind of begging the question, because if sphere, EQ mount will do this, EQ mount does this, therefore sphere. Oh, well, it doesn't work on a flat Earth model. Well, let's see how Bob deals with it. I'm pretty sure he'll deal with it pretty comfortably, but will Sly remove his channel as he said he would? Definitely not. But it doesn't change the fact that that moon goes missing, and it shouldn't go missing on your model. So looking forward to the nonsense rhetoric from people like Rumpus. I thought Rumpus has survived longer, to be honest, but shout out to Rumpus anyway.
Why did you think he'd shout out longer when 5 separate occasions he ignored me saying that this effect happens before we reach the floor, therefore it can't be obstruction from the floor, only for him to reassert that it's the floor obstructing it?
Well, he's normally better at obfuscating the truth, isn't he? He's normally able to obfuscate it for longer, so it's either us getting better or him getting not as good at obfuscating.
Well, that was about as weak as it gets, and it really does in my opinion, this really does demonstrate the zealots that we're dealing with, when they literally have to assert that the floor is also curving. It's like everything's curved. You religious bonkers mad.
Yeah. I mean, I got M. Scott Veach to admit that the floor that you originally did it on with the nursery guys and the table tennis, he admitted that he thought that the floor was concave.
So speaking of the moon, I can see it right now. It's crescent. So what are we supposed to do?
Well, concave would mean there was even less obstruction from the floor then.
As far as using that floor, what if you get one of those laser pens and lay it down on the floor that shows on the other end of the wall? They're fairly inexpensive, and it would show that it's level.
Well, we can definitely assert that it's not curved, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Right.
I think
And that's what Scott Veach thinks it is.
I'll just say it once more because I don't want it to get lost amongst you guys. There's no need. Before the floor is reached, this effect is happening. So it absolutely makes sod all difference the shape of the floor. The target in the distance, which is why I say angle of attack. What are you attacking? Well, the thing you're actually looking at in the distance. The floor is kind of irrelevant because the angle between you and that object is what's going to cause the thing to disappear from bottom up when you reach a limited angle. Now, you could achieve that on a hill. It makes no difference. It doesn't matter what causes the angle to be limited. It doesn't matter if the floor's straight, triangle, going at a massive angle. Who cares? All you need is a limited viewing angle. If you get that limited viewing angle, you will see things disappearing because they don't have enough angle to resolve the data in that tiny bit at the bottom. And depending on how small or how much of that item fits in that angle will dictate how much is disappeared from the bottom up. So who cares how flat the floor is? The angle's what's causing things to disappear, and it's demonstratable before the floor's reached.
Just to let you know, somebody jumped in to ask what to do about the crescent moon. We just want you to be keeping an eye out on it. You know, if you want to document your location and the time, that's, you know.
Okay, so it just passed. It just went behind the cloud right now. But I was just sitting here. I looked up and I just serendipitously saw it.
Well, let me rephrase what Travis just said because he didn't really do it justice. For the next 3 days, between 3 and 4 days, nobody anywhere on the Earth will see the moon, including you. So the question is, why does it happen on the model? But to validate the claim, just keep an eye on it for the next 3 or 4 days. It's always going to be close to the sun because it's the end of one lunar cycle and it's the beginning of another lunar cycle. But good luck in trying to find it because it's got if you look at the sun, the angular size of the sun is about one half of 5 degrees. So it's going to be within 5 degrees of the sun if you use the sun as half a degree. So it's going to be within 5. I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but the point is you're not going to see it for 3 days. And it's not just you, it's everybody on the planet. Now, if the Earth's supposed to be 4 times bigger than the moon, we all should see it at different angles and we should see different amounts of it. And we could argue about how much we're seeing. We could argue, is it 1.6% over 1.9% and stuff like that. But that's not going to be the argument. The argument is going to be, well, why does nobody see it anywhere on the Earth for 3 to 4 days? And on their model, the heliocentric model, it does not go missing ever, apart from on the moment of transit where it passes right in front of the sun.
This is documented in Jewish religion as well. They're not allowed to start celebrating. I can't remember the name of the holiday or the celebration or whatever it is, but I do know that they're not allowed to start celebrating until they see the new moon because it goes disappearing for 3 days. So that is documented in kind of religious text. And people do notice that it goes missing and they wait for it to come back and they're not allowed to do anything until they see it in the sky.
Isn't that the Passover?
I think it's something like that, yeah. They have a lot of holidays that are moon related when they can see the moon when it's full and in this case when it disappears. So it might be interesting just to have a quick look to see if any Jewish holidays are corresponding over the next 3 days.
And I've heard before that the lunar calendar is much more accurate. So why do they go with the solar calendar if the lunar calendar is much more accurate? Is it just to confuse?
Yeah, you'll have to check out Crow on that. Crow does a lot of commentary on how they've screwed with our system of time by moving away from the measurements of the sun and the moon.
Have you guys seen the Flat Earth Smart series on YouTube?
No.
What channel?
No, I've not seen it.
It's amazing. I love this guy. I've watched his. He has he's not a regular. He doesn't post a lot. The content is stale. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to him. But just Google Flat Earth Smart and go to YouTube. And there's a video series called the Flat series. And the first 6 videos are kind of like, hey, you're a flat earther, welcome, yada yada. But then towards the after they put out, and then an ephemeris.
Breaking up pretty bad.
There's a holiday called Rosh Kadesh. It starts on Thursday.
I bought one off Amazon. I forgot what.
What was that, guy?
Anyway, relative position of the sun. I just don't remember if he's talking about the moon going mist. It's a great series to watch.
I don't know about anybody else, but he broke up very bad.
Yeah, he was
I got
breaking up me too.
Yeah, nothing.
Is it better? Hold on.
What's happening?
Okay. Is it better?
Yeah,
Much better.
Yeah, that's
a lot
better.
I was using a headset. Sorry. So the series is called Flat Earth.
Now we just lost you again.
We're losing you again, man.
Oh, I think I know why. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We could hear you say, "Can you hear me now?" But that's about it.
Okay, sorry. So I don't know how much you heard, but did you hear the YouTube channel?
That is so weird. He cuts out right at the opportune times. Like,
Why is it doing this? Let me try to find a better spot. Hold on. I'll come back in a few minutes.
Or just like this, just stay close to the mic.
No, don't stay too close. You'll be eating it like Arwin does.
Is it better?
He does. Arwin pops more than Snap, Crackle, and Pop in Rice Krispies. Pop, 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 pop. Anyway,
So that's ideas forming in his head.
let me give a big shout out to Glowbusters again, because Glowbusters are going to be addressing Slice Barkane's comment that apparently equatorial mounts don't work on a flat Earth. I don't really understand the claim in the first place, if I'm honest, but Bob clearly understands it, and he said that he's going to address it tonight on Glowbusters. And if he addresses it, he may not do it as per Sly's rules tonight. Sly's got some narrow rules to do with modeling it on 3D Max or something. He might not do that exactly, like completely tonight. And given that the conference is coming up, I don't think anybody could really expect him to. But he'll be dealing with it tonight, and then presumably in a couple of weeks he'll come back with the animation requested. But it's interesting because Sly said he'd remove his channel if he manages to duplicate or explain this on a flat Earth model, because the claim appears to be that it doesn't work on a flat Earth model, because it can be done with one axis of rotation or something. I'm not quite sure exactly on the phraseology, and I'm not going to try and butcher it by trying to regurgitate it. But point is, Globusters hopefully is going to laugh at Sly tonight, and I'm definitely going to be there to watch it myself.
Oh,
Is it better?
yeah. For now.
Yeah, so far so good.
Okay, so
Every
I don't
time-
know how much.
Oh, we're getting sniped by Simon Dan.
We didn't hear anything.
I
Every
got him.
time you said, "Is this better?" we would say yes, and then you would start, and then it would crash. So.
Is it better now?
Until you want to
Hello,
tell us something.
Polly. How you doing?
Yeah.
Go, like, just
Hold
go
on,
for it.
Chocolate.
Hello?
Hold on, Chocolate. Hello, Polly, is it?
Mopoy.
Mopoy. Good to have you.
Yeah, Mopoy. Sorry?
Good to have you. Thanks for joining.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Have you got anything to say, Mopoy?
Yeah, I do have a question for you. You know, on a flat Earth model, you can say that the ocean is basically flat, right?
What is flat?
Yes, on a non-specific flat Earth model, you could say that. Yes.
Yeah. So you should stop seeing it only because of atmosphere density. You know, the atmosphere stops it from.
No,
It
it's just
stops
one.
you from seeing it.
It's
like
one.
mountains
One
in the
element.
distance.
Hold on. It's one element.
Yeah,
Obstruction in the distance and the diffraction causing the optical slant, causing obstruction.
And waves and tidal bulge and swells and riptides.
That's part of it. So there are two factors at play.
So you're saying what's blocking is the waves and an optical effect.
What's blocking what?
Well,
yeah, what's your observation?
What's blocking? It's the end. Because what my point is, if the Earth is flat, then you should stop seeing it in a gradient, because the atmosphere blocks it off more and more.
It does. It does.
Yeah, not
the
a
obstruction
straight
gradient
limit.
is linear. The relation between obstruction height and distance is linear.
Let me speak, are we?
Except there's a clear, defined limit. There's no gradient.
Yeah, it's called the visibility on the day.
I've got an example. I'm going to send to Arwen real quick.
Yeah,
So this all sounds like really non-specific to me. What observation? Where are you? You're looking at the end of what?
Just looking out at the ocean on a
Right. So what? You're standing. You're standing on the beach.
There aren't any waves.
So it's a relatively calm day. You're standing on the beach. You've got the sea lapping at your toes. You're about 6 foot off the floor, and you're looking at the horizon.
Yeah, that's it.
Travis just gave me a good.
And I believe if the Earth was flat, you should see a very slight gradient between the sky and the ocean, because the ocean would sort of disappear into the atmosphere, if you see what I mean.
Isn't that called the horizon?
It does.
There's a very defined limit.
That's called the horizon, man.
All right, if you
exactly.
All right.
That optical slant happens and everything gets obstructed. And I'm presenting the image right now, if I'm correct. Yes.
So
the waves you're seeing at this watery horizon are very close in relation to the thing in the background you're looking at, and this happens every time. Every time you zoom in on that horizon, at ships or windmills or an island, the horizon of the ocean, the edge of that wave you're looking at, is actually very close by in relation to the rest of the image above that. And that's a realization you have to let it sink in.
All right, so go to the next image, Arwen. This is on the Chesapeake Bay. Okay, this was taken in the late spring on a moderate day, about 70 degrees. And I could not see the shoreline, okay?
Yeah, but that's because you're looking at mountains or whatever on the other side.
Okay, but go to the next.
You can still see a line.
Can you see the miraging image?
Yeah.
Okay, so my point is that in all of these images that Arwen is going to go through, I gave him 3. This one, another one, and then I zoomed in. Okay, so on this one, or all of them actually, they're 6 miles away from me. Okay, so this image that you're looking at right now is 6 miles away, and I'm at the same elevation that you'll see at the next one that I just took 2 days ago. And I can see clearly to the other side. Boom, nothing. Okay, it was 50 degrees outside, so there's a difference in temperature. And then the next one, if you want to zoom in, Arwen, you can just see, I think I zoomed in on the same one.
I can't
see. That's a hell of a
sorry.
difference, man.
You know what I mean? So basically, if I want to go back in time to the spring, I would not be able to see this house. It would have been obstructed, just like you would see in the one that does have obstruction.
Okay, but here you're looking at a lake. I'm
can
talking
I
an
ask you a
ocean, which is
question?
a lot larger.
You're now moving the goalpost. This is 6 miles away, and we're talking about atmospheric distortion. We're talking about the fact that the moisture in the air performs obstruction.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So, Mopoi, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I sort of see your point. Okay.
So how do you think it should look on? I mean, this is you believe it's curved, right? You believe we live on a ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think it should look like? If you say there should be a gradient on a flat Earth, so
Yeah.
where's the curvature on the ball?
Well, in fact, if the Earth is a ball, as you say, then what stops you, the limit of the ocean, in your visual limit of the ocean, is the curvature, because after a certain point, you can't see because it's below where you're looking at. It's blocked by the ocean and the curvature. If the Earth was flat, then you should see a gradient. Okay, so not a limit, like if the Earth was flat, clearly defined limit. On a flat Earth,
What?
you
No.
should see a gradient.
That's ridiculous. The air clarity over distance is still gonna stack. So that's absolutely never true.
Yeah, it's going to stack.
Over any
It's going to-
distance, the air will eventually obstruct sight because of the total amount of air light is going to have to pass through.
Even if what you say is right, right? So how do you account for us being able to see things that should be behind the curve of the Earth, but yet can still be seen?
You're talking of those pictures in the big lakes around Chicago, etc.
Talking about plenty of pictures taken all over the place, all over the world.
Okay, well, those were explained actually, and
they were.
Yeah, it's because of different parameters like temperature and pressure. I seem to remember. It's a long time since I saw these,
So
but
where does the
you
cumulative
can't see
drop come
those
in?
all the time. It's only on specific days that you can see those.
Why is the obstruction rate not cumulative?
Wait, so just so I get this straight, so you believe that temperature and pressure can make something that's supposed to be behind the curvature of the Earth appear completely flat in front of you?
Yeah, because temperature distorts light. It does. It's a fact. Like,
and you believe
very
it
simple
can
example is like
distort it to the
above you
point.
see, look, above a road, on a very hot day, you can see places where the sky is reflecting on the road, whereas the road is flat and does not reflect. It's absolutely not a mirror. It's not a mirror, except it does do that because of temperature. In very cold temperatures near the Arctic, you can see the reflection of a boat above it, as if there was a mirror above it in the sky because of the cold temperature. Same kind of phenomenon.
Really?
Yeah.
Mirage displaced upwards. That's interesting. We've never had any observations of that.
Well, I'll try and look it up. Just wait.
Now,
McCoy, can I ask
usually
you a
mirages
question?
happen at the horizon beneath things or in between.
I seem to remember it was above. It was a few years ago I saw this, but
I'd love to see some visuals.
I'm looking it up.
McCoy, can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah.
As you're a baller, when do you think you should start seeing the curve of the Earth? Say, gaining altitude. If you had a balloon at the beach, you're at the seaside, you could look out across the horizon that we were talking about earlier, and you got in your balloon. How high do you think you would have to be to see the curve on your sphere?
Well, it's just an estimation here because I'm not calculating it, but I don't know, pretty high. I think it's above 100
Okay.
kilometers.
Okay.
About how much?
So
Sorry?
hold on a second,
Above
Owen.
100 kilometers.
Holland. Whoa.
Hold on.
With a
Right,
balloon?
Owen, please, mate. So let's do a little thought exercise. Yeah, me and you at the beach like we were earlier. We've got our feet in the water. We're both 6 foot tall. I'm a little bit like Jesus, and I can walk on water. You've got a pair of binoculars. Now,
Okay.
I walk off towards the horizon from you. Now, I'm 6 foot tall. How far do you think it's going to be before I disappear over the curve, under the curve of the Earth? Now, I'm asking you to think about it. You obviously haven't got the calculations in front of you, but I'll tell you. It would take me 3 miles if I was 6 foot to disappear underneath the curve of the Earth. Now, let's get back in that balloon and start going higher. Now, I live in the southeast of England. I can see France from 23 to 27 miles away, depending on the distance from it. Now, that's a coastline, not a 6 foot man who's disappeared over 3 miles. Now, we've got images all on the panel that we can bring boats back from over the curve at 6, 12, 14, 20 miles. You've got observations of distant islands at 50 miles away and the structures on those islands, lighthouses, churches, buildings, and so on. Now, your spherical geometry dictates that a 6 foot man will disappear after 3 miles of the Earth curve, yet we see things 50 miles away. But you're just about to say that we need to go much higher to see that curve.
A church is more, it's more than 6 foot, sorry. So it's not, there's no big surprise that you see it.
What? You can see a church on the island 50 miles away when spherical geometry dictates it should be well below the curve. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
that's no surprise at all. Look, we see things because they're there. Say that again, sorry?
Yeah, you're saying that 3 miles away, an object that's 2 meters tall disappears, okay? Except 15 miles away, so which is 5 times more, you should see something 5 times bigger disappear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and 5 times 2 is 10, and houses and especially churches are a lot bigger than 10 meters.
Okay, I'm talking about a church that's about 200 foot tall on an island that's 50 miles away.
50? Oh, yeah, I thought you meant 15.
No, 50. Sorry, the observation of the island is 50 miles away. My apologies if you didn't hear that correctly. Now,
50.
Which observation are you talking about? That's 50.
Yeah, 50.
Which observation?
One of the Isle of Man that you got from Wales?
No. Well, if you know about the lighthouse that Nathan shows on the thing that flicks through, that was 31 miles away, and none of it should
31. Be sorry, but we're talking about distances between 20, 30, 40 miles away, not 3 miles for a 6 foot man to disappear.
Correct. We are seeing 30, 40 miles away in cases, and we shouldn't see a lot of the stuff that we can see. So
the bit on, sorry, Anthony, the bit I'm just wanting to point out is these observations are from relative sea level. We're talking about from, say, an inch, a foot, 2 foot, 6 foot, 10 foot above sea level, and yet we're still seeing these objects in the distance that should not be there on your spherical model. Yep. And you want to go higher to see this curve, where the math is right in front of you. They tell you how big this ball is, so you should be able to see this curve. The maths tell you where you should be able to see this curve, but we've all got this idea in our heads that we've got to go higher. We've got to go higher to see the curve. It's a ball.
No, it's not a ball. And the obstruction rate versus the distance is linear. It's just a geometrical deducible fact. So, yeah, whatever that is, it's not a persistent cumulative drop. It is not curvature. It is flatness. And the apparent curve or the bending is purely an optical effect.
Okay.
And it migrates with the position.
Besides that, they want to count that the horizon is curvature, but they don't even count for the other axis. Because there's this whole other axis of curvature we should see that nobody even talks about, really. So
looks like we live on a tube most of the time.
Yeah.
I want to show something, Nathan. If I present my screen, sir, would you mind playing it?
Yeah, sure.
I've just found the optical illusion I was talking of. It's called Fata Morgana.
What about it?
So it can make things things that things higher up above the ocean. Just look it up on the internet. There are plenty of pictures.
I'm familiar with it, but what are you trying to tell me about it?
Yeah, that's those pictures.
So wait, so are you saying are you saying that accounts for something appearing from behind what's supposed to be curvature of the Earth?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying.
A Fata
No,
Morgana.
yeah,
A Fata
that's not
Morgana
it.
is where you get an inverted image that sits on top of the image, the real world image, and it's like someone's put a mirror there. So you get a repetition of the boat that you're looking at upside down on top of it. That doesn't account for what we see at all. You've misunderstood what a Fata Morgana is. I'm sorry.
Well, excuse me. Look at pictures, and you can see boats flying.
We've seen that.
They are.
I got some new
trust me, we've
pictures
seen
from.
that.
I got
Can
some
I
new
jump in
pictures
just
from
real quick?
Travis.
Yeah, I can just jump in real quick. I can take some still shots if you want, and I can show you the same Chesapeake Bay where I have fishermen standing on the water at a distance because you can't see the boat. Okay, but that is that's the mirroring. That's a reflection. That's not obstruction due to curve. A Fata Morgana is the image that you can see being mirrored. Okay, that's not the explanation that we get for curvature and refraction. That is, how can something that is thousands of feet behind the curve, how does that get brought back up into our linear view of sight? That's a different explanation. The Fata Morgana is not that explanation.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Called terrestrial refraction. If you beg the question and assume you're on a radius-based sphere, and then when something doesn't conform with that begging the question fallacy, you then introduce another level of begging the question fallacy called 7/6R or terrestrial refraction to bend things back into view where you can already see them.
So, you know, when we were talking about observations at like 30, 40, 50 miles away, and you were saying that, well, you have a position that if we're on a sphere, that certain things can like bring these things back into view, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you see my screen if you press the fingerprint at the bottom of the Hangout? Got some caravans on it on the right-hand side.
No, where is that? Sorry, I'm not very good at Hangouts. It's the first time I use it.
At the bottom of the screen, there's like square blocks, like picture tiles. And you can see my microphone bouncing up and down as I speak.
Okay, yeah.
All right, click on that, and it should open up. Can you see the pictures now with the caravans on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
All right, so it doesn't matter too much about the parameters to this. What matters is that I'm at a certain height. And when I took this video, I was originally up there for a different purpose. But once I got up there, I noticed that I could see land that I was familiar with, which is called the Isle of Man. But I also saw some other land that I considered to be floating, and it was unusual because it was floating. So I documented it, and I could observe that the land appears to stop there. But then we have this other land that appears to be floating on top of the horizon. And I didn't know what the land was. So the question that I asked was, what was the land? Because it can't be the Isle of Man, because by this height that I'm at, it's gone behind the curve of the Earth, right? It shouldn't be seen. And then we had 30 shows on this to work out what it was we were looking at. Borders were saying it's the Isle of Man, and we were saying, well, if it is the Isle of Man, it's supposed to be behind the curve. So what's the explanation for this? And there was back and forth, and it went on and on. And in the end, we realized that it was actually the Isle of Man, but we shouldn't be seeing this because it's all supposed to be behind the curve of the Earth. So what they all said was, well, go back to the beach and get the same observation, but lying on the beach, like get it on the beach. So what I'll do is I'll just play this again for you so you can see what you're looking at. And what you to notice is that there's two humps here that looks like Madonna's chest. and then it tapers off to a point where it drops into the water, and then you can no longer see it.
Yeah.
So there's the two peaks of Madonna's chest, and then it tapers off on an angle, and it goes down to the water, and then it disappears into the water, and it stops. It appears to stop there. So that's it tapers off, right? Then there's a gap of water, and then you're going to see some more land, which appears to be floating. And it's just interesting because I didn't know what it was, and I'd never seen it before, but that's what I was looking at. So they said to me, okay, go and get the same footage, but from the beach. So I did. And this is from the beach. This is literally lay on the beach, and you'll see the same land characteristics. Now, initially, I didn't recognize this land. This is where it tapers off, and it drops into the water at this point here. And I didn't recognize it initially. So I have to go back over the image to make sure that I'm looking at the same patch of land. And there's the Twin Peaks. Well, that was the second one. I didn't quite go far enough to get the second one, but there's the land as it descends into the water, and it plops into the water right at the very end. So now I'm expecting a gap of water. And if the land is visible again on the right-hand side, then we have a problem because this is on the beach level. And obviously now the land appears in the picture now, and you can see it, the black line along the top of the water line. I zoom into its middle of picture now, and I scan across, and I can still see the land. Now, it shouldn't even be seen from the hill that I was at before, but they all said, well, go back and get it from the beach, and then you've got an argument. So I went back and got it from the beach, literally lay on my belly on the beach, and they've ignored it. They've literally hand-wave dismissed it because reasons. But the point is we see the land. Now, we shouldn't see it from the higher point because it's behind the curve of the earth. So what's the explanation for why it's seen from the lower point when I'm lay on my belly on the beach? It can't be seen on a sphere.
Okay, and you can see it, but it's not flatter.
Right, so that's one fair point. It is flatter. It's been compressed. Now, on a sphere, that wouldn't happen, but if we're on a flat plane, then that's exactly what you would expect as a result of convergence with the horizon.
What do you mean it wouldn't happen? If the start, if one part of the island goes behind the curvature, then it'll look more compressed.
No, it'll look cut off from the bottom.
Yeah, which would give basically the same effect. With the quality of that video, you can't really tell the difference.
Not to mention it should be tilting away from us because we're on
it should be tilting. I mean, it's 34 miles away, and the land in question is only 300 feet or so on average high, but it should be behind 700 feet of curvature. There is no way we should see it, but we can. We can go to the beach, and you can see that's how I had the camera on it, lay on the floor. Now, obviously, I only went to where the driest part of the driest part of the sand was, but the point is that if we can see it from the beach and we can see it from the hill, then something else must be going on because the curvature is constant, right? We live on a sphere. It's consistent all over the sphere in all directions, and it falls at a prescribed rate that we should be able to observe, calculate, and repeat. But the problem is I can see this from lying on the beach, and it's the same land. So the question is, well, why? And if you're going to argue that it's looming, then it's not a remote. It's quite a remote argument. It's not likely, given that I went and repeated the observation. I mean, it should be 700 feet behind the curve of the earth. There should be a wall of water between us and it.
You're sure of your calculations?
Yes, very sure.
Okay.
We spent
Sorry,
30 shows.
Interrupt there. Just 1 second.
Shout out.
Sorry, bear with me.
Shout out to
Sorry,
the trees.
no shout outs. Hold on. What calculations? We just see it. What do we need to calculate? We're just looking at it.
No, the fact that it should be 700 feet behind the curvature.
Sorry, I'll ask you. Sorry,
wrong,
bear with me a second.
Then you don't have an argument.
Hold on. Can you
if it's right, okay,
sorry,
I don't
you don't seem to be acknowledging my question. What exactly do we need to calculate, given that we just see it? I don't need to calculate anything. I just open my eyes and look at it.
No, you're saying it should be 700 feet behind the curvature of the Earth.
No,
right?
We're not saying that. That would be your globe model when you assume you have a radius, beg the question, and ignore perspective. That would be your assertion, not ours. We're taking apart your assertion.
So you just said that.
Sorry.
Yeah, but that's your model.
I didn't say it. Right?
That's what your model says, man.
This isn't our religious belief in a ball based on a radius that has no evidence for it. It's yours. We're taking it apart.
Yeah, okay. It's just, okay, that's right. I don't give an explanation.
So, yeah, you haven't answered my question. So why would we need to calculate anything given that we just see it and we can just look at it and say, there it is?
No, I was talking of the calculation for the hidden bit where you find 716.32
Nothing's hidden.
feet.
We see it. Hello? You're still ignoring my question. Why would I, a flat earther, have to look at this
Yeah.
on screen and calculate anything? I can just see it. That's the end of my explanation. I see it. No calculations, no assuming a radius, no assuming there's a 700 bloody foot earth wall in the way. I just see it. So where do I need to make...
but there only is a problem.
I was just about to ask
if
the question
it's
that you've avoided
supposed
3
to
times
be
again, and you've
behind the
talked over me.
curvature
So I'll ask the
in a
question again,
globe Earth
regardless
model.
that you can't help talking over me. Why would I need to make any calculations at all?
Well, I'm answering you, so let me talk. So, there only is a problem if it is supposed to be behind the curvature of the Earth. And
Sorry,
you can only calculate
you've
that,
ignored my
right?
question again. Listen up. Why would I need to calculate anything at all when I can just see it?
Because, Jesus, you're trying to prove that the globe Earth model is wrong, okay? So
we're not
you're
allowed
looking-
to do that.
Look, my point, I think here's what it is, right? Is that we believe that we know that the earth is flat, right?
Yeah.
And then a baller like you will come and tell us that it's a sphere and that what we're seeing is supposed to be a certain amount of feet behind curvature of the earth because the earth is curved, right?
Okay.
You have a model that has a specific measurement of the earth. That's not supposed to change, right?
Yeah.
Right. And we've been provided with calculators from you to tell us how much is supposed to be hidden and how much curve we're supposed to find.
Yeah, that's the
We don't believe in
calculation I'm
that.
talking of. That's the only calculation I'm talking of.
Right.
Yes,
But we don't
hold
need
on,
that
Chocolate. I need
calculation. We just see it
to
flat.
ask him my question again, Chocolate. Right. That's the only calculation you're talking of. No problem. We understand that. We understand your religious belief. We understand what Fata Morgana is, shockingly. I'm asking you why I need to calculate anything ever to do with this observation. There it is. I see it. Why do I need to start calculating anything at all?
Well, because if you only have an observation, you're not proving anything.
What, other than the fact that it's there? I can see it. I can prove it's there.
The calculation.
Sorry.
The calculation.
Sorry, you just said I'm not
means-
proving anything. It's there. What do I need to prove? It's a concrete noun. I see it.
No, just please calm down and listen to what I'm saying, okay? The calculation is what the globe Earth model says.
I get that, you stupid retard. How many times have I got to ask the same question? Why would I need to calculate anything? Not a globe-tard, retard, religious zealot like you. Why do I need to calculate anything?
The calculation is given by the globe Earth model.
Yeah, you've said that about 6 times, right? I don't believe in models. I don't live on a model. We don't live on models. That's a reification fallacy. I'll ask it again. It's probably about the 8th time. Why would I need to calculate anything?
I'm not asking you to calculate, but you're giving a counterexample, proving that the calculation is wrong. Okay, so either the model used for the calculation is wrong, in which case the Earth is flat.
There you go.
Or the observation is not real, but the observation is real. It's there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
on
we
that
just
point,
say it's
on
flat.
that point, you're right.
We just say it's flat, and you say, no, here's the calculation for how much curve is there, and this is why you see it. When we're like, no, we see it because it's just there. It's not being refracted,
I don't think
bounced. It's not being refracted and bounced around the curvature and the atmosphere and all of that craziness. It's not doing that. It's just there.
I maybe didn't
look at it
say
like this.
things
Why
properly,
just
but I
calculate-
agree with you. I agree with you on that point. I can't explain why you can see it.
You don't need to explain why you see it. Why do you have to explain seeing something, right? If I hold up my mouse and say, there's my mouse, do I need to give an explanation for why I see it?
Please, just chill. I'm agreeing with you. Okay.
So I don't need to give an explanation for seeing it.
No.
Why do you have to give an explanation for seeing it?
Why did I give an explanation that's
Yeah,
true?
given that I don't need
for me
to.
seeing it, because my model is being proved
Oh,
wrong.
I see, because you
by
have a
your
religious
observation.
belief in a model. So your religious
It's not
belief in the model
religious.
says
It's
we
not
can't
religious.
see it, right? You've got a religious belief in a model.
So
I
then
think
you
this
Hold on,
can admit that
let him
there's a
answer.
problem.
and
Let
you're
him
not going
answer.
to get anything out of it.
Well, you came, my boy. You
I want
came
to hear
here
his
with a point.
answer.
We've given you a
Oh,
counter
God.
argument. to
Can I
that
say it
point.
one
Where
more?
do you
I want
stand
to
now?
hear his answer.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's conceding, and
Yeah,
he's
I want
giving
to
a little
actually
too much
hear
credit.
it.
He said he agreed.
Yeah, I
but
said
he didn't.
about 3 times maybe. That okay, you won that point, and I can't explain it. I can't tell why that. So maybe in that case,
So what can't you tell?
maybe in that case, you're right.
What can't you tell?
Why you can see it?
We
Because
can
I
see it.
believe-
There's no explanation required. This is why I'm getting short with you. You don't need
Okay.
to explain it. I'll ask my question again. Yeah, you're not conceding. Otherwise, you wouldn't say, I need to explain why I just see something. That's not conceding. If I hold up my mouse and it's right in front of my eyes, do I need to explain why I see my mouse? That's a yes or no
Okay.
question.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Well,
And,
yes
you know,
or
put
no?
it- just look at it the opposite.
Shut up!
You know-
I want to talk to him.
Okay.
Do I need to explain why I see my mouse when I hold it up in front of my face?
No, but
Do I need to explain some land when it's right in front of me and I can see it?
No,
Why do you then?
because it's a counterexample to the model. So
It doesn't
either-
fit
either
your
the flat-
religious
either
belief.
the Earth
You do see it just like
Please
I
listen
see
to me.
it, but you have a religious
I'm
belief
talking, please
that you
don't
shouldn't
interrupt
see
me.
it.
So either the Earth really is flat, or there's a problem. Except we can't tell.
What problem? Sorry, what's the problem now? Here we go again. What problem? I
Problem
just see
is
some
by the
land.
model.
Why is there a problem? When I hold up my mouse, is there a problem because I can see it? Yes or no?
Okay.
Hello? I'll ask it again. Don't stutter. Just give me a yes or no answer. I hold up my mouse. Is there a problem because I can see it?
If the usual, if
It's a yes or no answer. I hold up my mouse. Is there suddenly a problem because I can see it?
No.
If I
That's
see
how-
land, regardless of its distance, is that suddenly a problem because I see it?
No.
Why did you say it was then?
It's a problem for the globe Earth model.
It's a problem if you have a religious belief. That's precisely my point I want you to concede. It's a problem if you have a preconception of a globe that would be a religious belief.
Right, but okay. I'll concede that. But
let's hear you say
if the
it.
Earth is-
I want you to say
Yeah.
it. I want you to say, I have a
Okay,
religious
what-
belief
what-
and things I see I have to explain rather than just seeing them because of my religious belief.
It's not religious, sorry.
Oh, sorry. So you can prove these things are looming and miraging around a bend based on a presupposition of an R value. You can prove that, can you? Sorry,
just real
yes or
quick.
no answer. Can you prove Earth radius and that these items in these pictures are in fact not there? They're hologrammatic projections of things beyond a wall of Earth curve. You can prove that, can you?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
You said it's not a religious belief. I'm saying it absolutely, unequivocally is a religious belief, and I want you to concede that. Unless you can prove what you believe, it's just a belief.
All right, please let me talk. Let me say a sentence without interrupting me, please. So, you got 1 point because I'm offering 2 options. Okay, I'm not decided. I'm not taking position on this. I'm saying either you're right the Earth is flat, or, for example, light is getting distorted for some reason. Okay, and
Why?
it might
Why?
sound.
Why would you
religious or
assert
this or
this? Why? Why would suddenly light? Why is it that I look at my mouse? Okay, let's do it again. I hold up my mouse and I see it. Do I have to suddenly reconcile whether or not the light is distorted for my mouse? Hello, is my mouse a bloody hologram when I hold it up or not?
It's not absolutely not the same distances.
Oh, so suddenly with distance. Oh, sorry. Why is it that if I put my mouse 10 yards away, I have to reconcile whether or not it's a hologram?
This is just becoming stale. I don't think.
No, this is you not conceding you've got a religious belief. Suddenly, when I use the example of a mouse rather than a bit of land in the distance, yeah, I don't have to reconcile whether or not it's a bloody hologram. But when it's far away and there should be a ball earth in the way, then suddenly I have to reconcile it because of your religious belief. No, I just see it.
Same reference. It's not the same reference,
How is it different? It's just a concrete noun. Mouse, land. Just concrete noun. How is it different?
This might not make you very happy, but I'm going to use the globe Earth model. Okay, so in the globe Earth model, which 99% of architects believe in,
I couldn't give a crap about your appeal to consensus. We're not going to beg the question and tell us how it's going to work on a globe model. We're talking about land we can see. And you're saying that's a problem. We shouldn't see it. It might be light refracting. When I give you the same example with a concrete noun, my mouse, suddenly that's different because it's closer. What's the difference? Why do suddenly things in the distance have to be reconciled? Answer, because you've got a religious belief.
No, it's
yes. What do you mean no? We'll prove R. Prove radius right now.
Distortion.
Sorry, you're about to use your model. I've stopped you. Right, before you use your model's based on radius. If this is not a religious belief, you don't believe in this, prove radius. Prove it right now.
That's not what I'm trying to do.
You're just about to use your bloody model that used radius, were you not?
No, I was
So
not.
you said on a globe model. So you're saying your globe model excludes radius? Are you stupid?
That was 2 minutes ago.
Yeah,
okay?
So you're about to use a globe model and I stopped you. Yeah? Now I'm saying if this is not a belief, prove R. Are you going to talk all over me like you've just accused me of doing? If this is not a belief, then prove the radius your model was based on. Don't laugh. Prove R.
Okay, I just want to jump in.
Shut up, Travis, shut up. Prove R. Or concede you've got a religious belief about this shit.
Why are you getting so angry?
Because I'm dealing with religious zealots who won't concede that suddenly when distance is introduced, their religious belief in a ball has to be accounted for. No, it doesn't. I see the land, it's there. No explanation required. Unless I have a religious belief asserted by you in this case. When we point out there's no need to account for the problem of seeing it, there's no need to think about light diffracting, we can just look at it and say, there it is.
Why is there no need?
Because we just see it. Do I need to explain this again? I hold up my mouse. I've got to do this for the audience. You are so stupid. I will shut you up and do it visually for the audience only. Here is my mouse. I hold it up and I look at it. Do I need to work out whether or not it's a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena? Or can I just say I see it? Now suddenly, if we've got a distance involved, we've got a phenomena on our hands. Why?
Yeah.
Because we shouldn't see the land. Why? Because of Earth radius and your religious belief in it. Don't laugh. This is your religion. You think it's funny because you don't realise the awfulness of the truth. That's why you're laughing. It's not funny. It's a religious belief. You've come on our doorstep to assert like a Jehovah's Witness, knocking our door, telling us we need to maths things and we need to see things that aren't there. They are there. I see them. You've just got a religious belief. And until you concede, I'm not going to let you off the hook.
Nathan, listen, I think it's time for a prayer.
Radius Dominus, Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus, Amen. Go in peace, globehead retard. in R you trust.
All right, can I jump in now?
Are you going to prove
Yeah, go
R? Are you going to say it's a religious belief, or are you going to prove R?
I'm not going to prove R.
So it's a religious belief then, moron.
I'm not capable of proving it's.
Oh, well, if it's beyond proof, it's just a belief. What part of this aren't you getting, dingbat?
No, you can't. No, sorry.
No, it's not my religion. No, it's science, right?
Say, for example, you can't build an engine, therefore...
This is a red herring, distraction, non sequitur. Bullshit. You have a religious belief in radius. If that is not so, prove radius.
Oh, all right. Like real quick, I just want to say real quick.
chocolate can talk. Okay.
I'm trying, man.
I'm pressing buttons over here,
I'm
Travis.
trying over here, man. Oh, Nathan, you're nuts, man. But anyway, look, this dude, like, at least I just want to say, at least he conceded that either the Earth is flat or there is a definite problem with his model. I don't know too much after that with all the explanation he had, but at least he's seeing that there's a problem with his model.
Right. So let me jump in and follow that up because that's the point that I was going to make, Chocolate. But my question to you, Malfoy, is why go any farther than saying the Earth is flat? Okay. So the point that Nathan is making is your commitment. That's what he means by religious belief. Okay. He's not saying that you believe in God or you're committed to a church. He's saying the way that you operate is that you are committed to something that you either don't understand or you can't prove. But when you conceded either the Earth is flat or there's something wrong with the model, my challenge to you is stop after saying either the Earth is flat. That's it, man. The reason why you would say or there's something wrong with the model is you have a commitment to that model you are not ready to relinquish. That's the point Nathan is making.
No, okay.
Outside of what you can see really far. Apart from that, you are told you live on a ball. Your senses tell you that you can see really far, but you are told you live on a ball.
Yeah. Right. Why I'm
So
saying
that's where the critical thinking has to start.
Why I'm saying there's a second option is because I find there are other things that just don't fit, don't seem correct to me in the flat Earth model.
Sorry, why do you keep saying the flat Earth model?
We don't have a model.
Oh, hold on. What is this crap straw man? What model? What model are you talking about? What flat Earth model?
So there are several, right?
Sorry, we haven't asserted a model. What is this straw man you are talking about? Flat Earth model. Who's asserting there's a model? The only one asserting a model here is you, with your bloody globe.
A model is something reproducible based on observation, which explains the thing.
How long, Malfoy? How long have you been watching this show?
Not very long.
Okay. In this show, we don't subscribe to any particular flat Earth model.
Okay.
At least us
Models
on
are pseudoscience,
on this
mate.
panel. Yes, sir. Exactly. We don't subscribe to any particular AE or whatever model. We don't live on a ball. That's
Okay.
what it is.
You're just saying the Earth is flat. We don't know much more.
Yes, the Earth is obviously and observably flat. Unfortunately, day after day, we have religious zealots who come knocking on our door telling us that what we see, we don't really see. It might be bendy light.
Okay, I see your point. But do you consider that other planets and moons are round, are balls?
We can see that they are lights in the sky.
Talking about the lights in the sky. that we don't know what they are.
So what's the point you're making, though? Yes, okay.
You can look at the telescope. You can see the moon. It's not a light. You can see more detail than just a little dot.
And?
Do you think that is round or flat?
Sorry, what does that have to do with the shape of the Earth exactly?
Because why would the Earth be flat if everything else is round?
Oh, really?
If you walk into
So,
a forest,
but everything else is a light in the
Hold on, I
sky.
want
So
Travis.
why are we
I want
not a
Travis
light
to
in
go
the
through
sky?
this. Travis, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hold on, Travis, go ahead.
What am I supposed to do?
Oh, sorry, it was someone else. Who was just talking, saying about the forest?
I said if you walk into a forest and all you observe are trees, are you a tree? If you play pool and all the balls are round, is the table round? We can go on and on.
Yeah, if they're all lights in the sky, why are you not a light in the sky?
If there are 4 tires under the car, why isn't the car a tire?
You get all those examples?
We're talking of billions of billions of...
Of what?
Oh,
Lights?
billions and billions.
Have you
what are you,
observed
Carl
billions
Sagan?
and billions?
Sorry, just let's
Come
get an
on.
acknowledgement.
Cut to the
Let's see how long
chase.
this takes.
Everything you're told about those lights in the
Thousands of
sky, you are
trees.
told. You
Sorry,
are
the example
told
you were given.
stories about those lights in the sky and what they are.
Just see if
Well,
you
let
can
me-
acknowledge
let me-
this.
let me say
We're
this
moving
just real
past
quick.
the example. So, hold on. Let's just have the example reiterated. Hold on. So, you are in a forest, and you have always lived there. You wake up every morning, and around you in all directions are trees. Does that make you a tree?
You can, well, if you don't see yourself, you can think
It's a
that
bit
you're
like
tree.
the mouse. Yes or no answer. Are you, sir, a tree?
It's not a yes no. It's not a yes no question.
Yeah.
If
Are you a
can
tree? Yes
see
or no?
yourself- Listen, please. If you can't see yourself, you can assume you're a tree. If
So
you
you
can see
are
your
actually
hand,
claiming
trees
that in
and-
this example, yes, you are in fact a tree. Let me be the first to tell you, you complete bonehead, you're not a tree. Okay? Do I really need to tell you that you're not a
You
tree?
don't see yourself. Even without a mirror, you can see your legs. You can see your penis. You can see your feet.
Yeah,
What do you mean you don't see yourself?
that's what I'm saying. That's the second option.
How does that happen?
Until I got interrupted.
So the answer would be no, I'm not a tree.
Yeah.
Right, jolly good, that took long enough. So given that you can stand in a tree, in a forest amongst trees, and not be a tree, why would it be the case that we can be amongst starlight and suddenly we have to be like the stars?
Arwen laughed.
The question is, why are we different?
No, I'm still here.
Sorry, the question is why are we different? I don't know why we're different. I don't know why I'm not a tree. I just know I'm not a tree.
Yep. Why doesn't the sun have trees on it?
Because
How do you know what the lights in the
location
sky
for the
even
tree to
are?
settle on.
Why don't we have clouds around the sun or the moon? If it's the same thing.
What?
I'm just making more fallacy.
Mopoy, in other words, you understand why the question is ridiculous, right?
No.
At what
You don't
point
under-
did you make the transition from lights in the sky to planets? Did somebody tell you?
Okay, real quick, do you believe that man has landed on the moon, Mopoy?
I do.
Say again.
I do. Yeah.
Oh.
And why don't you?
Okay.
Right,
We should
which-
start. We should have
have a
started
problem.
from there, I think.
In Houston, we have a problem.
Well, how about this? You think
Let me go gas
9/11
pressure
wasn't-
container.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's
Let's-
it.
let's-
I want to hear who was that? Event Horizon. Can you repeat that, please?
I just want to know how you can have gas pressure next to a vacuum without a container. We breathe air pressure on this plane. We have air pressure. You and I breathe it.
Yeah.
Where's this vacuum from, and why is entropy not affecting the air pressure that we breathe and dispersing into the vacuum of space? Before we start talking about landing on things in this medium, let's talk about the medium itself.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, can you explain gas pressure without a container next to a vacuum?
What do you mean without a container?
Well, we breathe air pressure, yeah? Air pressure needs to press on something. That's the necessary antecedent for air pressure.
You mean the
Okay?
atmosphere staying on the globe?
Yeah. How does that work? Air pressure, vacuum, no
Exactly.
container.
Gravity.
What's
Right,
gravity?
does somebody else want to take this away?
Yeah, sure. What's gravity?
Electrolyte.
What is gravity?
Gravity is the fact that you've pulled the objects are pulled together.
Yeah. But
hold on. Say
it's
that
not a
again.
barrier.
Owen.
No.
Oh my
Owen,
god. So, objects pulled together. No, that's not the current rhetoric. Current rhetoric is the bending of space-time. What are you on about?
Sorry, what? That's not the definition of gravity.
I will look it up.
You're talking about the Newtonian gravity,
Yes, it
which
seems
is mass
you are a bit
attracting
out of
mass.
date. That would be Newtonian gravity, superseded by Einsteinian gravity.
Never ending.
So, do you want to explain how the bending of space-time can hold gas pressure without a container? Maybe a demonstration of that would be great.
The bending of space-time.
All right, so there's the sun, right? There's the sun. You can see the angle there. The moon is right there.
So the question on the table is, how do we have gas pressure without a container? Your assertion that this could be possible, that the pressure isn't pressing on anything, but in fact being held by the current rhetoric, gravity. You said gravity, and I assume you mean the current standard amongst the scientific community, not some old standard that's been superseded.
Well, excuse me, but objects being pulled together.
Yes, we've just explained this. Listen again. That would be Newtonian/Cavendish gravity. That's not what is currently in effect in your ball religion. Your ball religion currently has gravity defined as the bending of space-time, as per Einstein. Did you not know this? Are you just out of date with your religious faith? Maybe contact your priest.
I do. Okay, I know that the bending.
So, the question on the table is, how do we have gas pressure without a container? How do we have gas pressure without a container? Your religion has a vacuum, and we're asking how we have gas pressure. How can we be breathing? Why isn't it all dispersing into the vacuum?
So, but how is that different on a globe or a flat Earth?
Sorry.
Hold on. Well, we don't have a vacuum of
we
space.
haven't asserted a religious belief about a moon you can land on. You're asked if you think we've gone to the moon. We know that's total lies. Now, the reason we know that lie exists is because we're breathing. Now, we're breathing gas pressure. And your religious belief, the one that necessitates men going to the moon, they've got to travel from the gas pressure into your fantasy medium of space, which is a vacuum. So, how can we be breathing? Entropy. Why isn't it dispersing into the vacuum, as would be expected?
Well, I'm saying it's being pulled towards the Earth.
It's not strong enough.
But that's Newtonian gravity. That's superseded, as Nathan has explained.
Quince.
The strength of the G constant is not strong enough to counteract entropy.
No worries. Let's give him it. So you want to use objects of mass attracting one another? No problem. Let's see if this is another religious belief or not. Can you give us a demonstration of Newtonian/Cavendish gravity maintaining gas pressure without a container? Can you demonstrate that for us, please? So we know it's not just a religious belief.
So you're saying you have something demonstrating that it can't possibly pull the gravity can't possibly pull the atmosphere towards Earth and keep it there.
That's right.
No shit. So, how do we have gas pressure?
Remember how tiny this little ball is and the entire vacuum of space. It wants that atmosphere. Entropy's a bitch.
Yeah,
Second law of thermodynamics violation. You've got an issue.
Extremely strong, violent, and abrupt.
Let's see if he concedes this one as a religious belief.
stable strength of
Hold
gravity.
on, Arwen.
that
Let's just
seems
see if he
gonna
really
work.
concedes this as a religious belief or just asserts it again.
Now, I'm just trying to understand, in your belief, well, or your knowledge, as you like to call it, you think that there is no vacuum. Right? The atmosphere continues infinitely.
Sorry.
No.
It is
Or is
not
it
our
contained
assertion
by
that we have
something?
been to the moon, necessitating travelling from the gas pressure through a barrierless system into a space vacuum. That would be
Yeah, I'm trying to
your
understand
religious
you
belief. You are making the assertion that men have been to the moon. Are you now retracting that assertion, or do you stand by it?
No, I stand by it. But
Excellent.
I'm trying to understand
So
what you
let's
think.
carry on then with your assertion that men have been to the moon by quantifying how we have gas pressure. Why am I still breathing, given that your spacemen went into a vacuum? How's that possible? You've just said that's not at all possible. No shit. So, about that vacuum of
Where's
space.
the link? Where's the link?
Don't ask me a question. Just
Actually
explain
going
whether
to
or
the
not we
moon.
can have the gas pressure. Don't ask me something. This is
understand
your...
what
Listen up. Shut up. This isn't my belief. I don't need questioning. You have made a crazy assertion that men can go to the moon. Bonkers ludicrous. Because we're breathing gas pressure, and in that crazy religious belief, you've got a vacuum. Now, you've already said, that's crazy, I can't prove that. So, why would you still assert that men have been to the moon in that crazy medium of a vacuum?
I haven't said I can't prove it.
So it's just another religious belief then, is it, Dick Brain?
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you've just said I can't prove it. So, if you can't prove it, you simply believe in it.
I did not say that I cannot prove it.
Oh, well,
Jeez.
prove it then. How
Well,
can we
then
have
prove
gas
it.
pressure
Well,
without a container?
fine.
I would
This is-
like a demonstration of that,
I'm
please.
not going to calculate
We've just
that
gone
in-
over this. I asked you to demonstrate it.
Just
Shut up!
done your
Shut up!
calculations, Right.
Shut up! I asked you to demonstrate it to establish whether or not... Shut up! Stop rumpusing the hangout! I have asked you to demonstrate it to establish whether or not it's just a religious belief. If you demonstrate it, we will accept that it's not just your belief. If you can't prove it, it is your religious belief. But you won't concede it because you're a religious zealot. Simple.
Okay, I see. You're saying that I can only believe that that the atmosphere is being held by gravity, and that outside there's a vacuum only if I can prove it. Because if not, there's nothing proving me.
No, you can believe any old crap you like, Sunshine. But when you come to our doorstep and tell us that men have been to the moon, and we say that's nonsense because vacuum would suck all the pressure off, then you say, no, that's not a religious belief, I just can't prove it.
No, I'm saying I need more time to prove it. I'm saying I'm not going to do it right now.
Why should you have to prove it, though? If your priests have told you that you live on a ball in a vacuum with an atmosphere attached, surely your priests should be able to prove it. You've got 2,000 years of science to be able to back your model. So where is that hypothesis expressed in an experiment that you can deliver to us? You should be able to. This is the paradigm. We're not asking you for much. We're not really asking you to go and do it yourself. You should be able to refer to the universe, an experiment sometime in history. There you go. The fact that you can't, that it doesn't even exist, is the reason why we're here.
I probably
Exactly.
I just have to do the research, but I'm not going to do that now. I don't have the time while staying on the live stream.
Yeah, it's just a question of time. Yeah, given enough time, I'm sure like every single person that has ever come by our doorstep, like a Jehovah's Witness asserting that we live on a bloody sphere, you'll be able to demonstrate gas pressure without a container, given enough time. Yeah, right.
So, but why would the whole of society?
We don't want your questions. We're not asserting men have been to the moon. We went over this, did we not?
And I'm saying I can't answer right now.
Oh, right. Well,
Yeah,
we'll
but
tell
then
you
you
already,
don't think
Sunshine.
that's a problem?
Well, let us tell
You
you.
don't think
We'll
that's a
save you the
problem that
bother.
you can't
I'll
answer
save
that
you the
right
bother
now?
of doing the research.
Yeah,
You can't
that is a problem.
have...
I agree with you.
Listen
I
up.
agree with
Listen up. You can't have gas pressure without a container. It defies entropy to to have a vacuum next to gas pressure. Your space religion
Stop interrupting me when I'm speaking. It
You're
would
talking
greatly
over
help
me is what you're doing.
conversation.
I'm telling you. I'm not asking you a question. I'm telling you. You can't have gas pressure without a container. That's just your religious belief in a vacuum of space where men travel to the moon. Your religious belief that you can't prove and apparently need more time. 2,000 years of this assertion isn't long enough, apparently.
Right. I'm saying that I don't have the data available just in front of me.
We're saying the data isn't there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do realize, Mopoy, that nobody has the data available, right? Every one of you guys that comes in here says the same thing. I don't have it in front of me. I don't have time to find it. Shouldn't you guys just be able to point that out to us in 2 seconds flat? Here it is. It's been proven because man has landed on the moon, and we've driven dune buggies and stuff and played golf on the moon and talked to Richard Nixon and did all that. So it should be proven in 2 seconds. You don't see that as a problem, that it's not?
No, because
all you guys have the same story, man.
Okay, no, because it's so commonly accepted that people don't find then there's an explanation needed.
Oh, so because it's a wide-held religious belief, because there's lots of Jehovah's Witnesses around you, that makes it real, does it? Because lots of you have this crazy idea. No, that's called an appeal to consensus fallacy.
Yeah.
All hold the globe. We don't need to explain it.
Yeah. In our you trust, because lots of other people believe it. So you don't need evidence, you just need lots of people to believe in it, do you? Wow, low standards.
No, that's not how. Just prove me that prove me that you're seeing your screen.
I'm seeing it. I don't need to prove it. It's a concrete noun. There's no phenomena.
I have no proof that you're seeing the screen right now.
I don't need to prove it to you, and I don't care whether or not you believe me.
Yeah,
I said
same
it earlier.
thing, same thing.
Listen, stop talking. Stop talking. Shut up. I don't care what you believe. Listen, I don't care what you believe, so long as you concede it's a belief. Yeah? You won't do that. You go to fallacy. So after we rip apart your religious belief, you then say lots of people believe in it. So then you go to fallacy, rather than conceding you have a belief in this shit.
Okay, it is a belief.
Yes, I know it's a belief. Thank the gods in heaven. Yes, we know, Muppet. It's just a belief. We've been saying it for an hour.
Right, I see. You want me to say that it's a belief, as I believe in it, not because of facts, proven, observable, repeatable facts, but because I've been told it since I was born.
Yeah, we already know that. It's nice to hear you say it, though. Very amusing, and definitely the note I'll be rounding out this show on. So with that, I'll say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible, and of course a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you hated the show, who could possibly hate it? But if you did, I'm sure you've done it already, smash the dislike button. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!